Once upon a time, in a small village nestled deep in the heart of Africa, there lived a pastor named Moses. He was a man of towering presence with a voice that could command the winds and a gaze that seems to pierce through souls. The people of the village reverenced him, for they believed they had a special connection with the divine. Pastor Moses had arrived in the village years ago, claiming to have been sent by God to deliver them from their struggles. He preached with fervor, telling the villagers that their barren land would flourish, their illness would be cured, and their empty homes would be filled with laughter of children. But there was one promise that caught the attention of the women in the village. A promise that soon became the center of their lives. You see, Pastor Moses would say, standing tall at the altar, his voice dripping with certainty, God has given me the power to bless barren women. If you were without a child, it is because your womb is closed. But fear not, for the Lord has shown me the way to open it. He then would invite women who had been unable to conceive to come forward. With great ceremony, Pastor Moses would lay his hands on their heads, muttering prayers in a language only he claimed to understand. But what happened next was what made his rituals infamous. After praying, Pastor Moses would ask the women to close their eyes and trust in God's work. Then, to the shock and disbelief of those who heard of it, he would touch their private parts, declaring that this act was a channel through which God's blessing would flow. Do not fear, he would assure them. This is not the touch of a man, but the hand of God moving through me. It is through these that your womb will be blessed. Many women desperate for children complied with Pastor Moses' strange rituals. Word spread quickly, and soon women from neighboring villages traveled to see the pastor, hoping for the miracle of life. Months passed, and as many women fell pregnant, the belief in Pastor Moses' power grew stronger. The villagers were convinced that he was truly a man of God, gifted with miraculous abilities. But not everyone was convinced. An elder woman in the village named Mama Amina, known for her wisdom, began to grow suspicious. She had lived through many seasons and seen false prophets come and go. Something about Pastor Moses didn't sit right with her, and she decided to investigate. Mama Amina quietly began speaking to the women who had undergone Pastor Moses' rituals. She listened to their stories, and a pattern began to emerge. Some women who had been touched by Pastor Moses had not conceived at all, while others, after months of waiting, discovered they were pregnant. But the timing didn't align with the rituals. They realized that these pregnancies had occurred through their husbands, not through the mysterious pastor's intervention. Mama Amina decided to confront Pastor Moses. One Sunday, during the height of his sermon, she rose from the congregation and called out to him. "Pastor Moses," she said in a voice that commanded attention, "I have lived many years and seen many things. What you do to these women, is it truly God's work or is it something else?" The crowd fell silent, all eyes on the pastor. Pastor Moses, for the first time, looked uncertain. His voice, once so powerful, waved as he responded, "Mama Amina, you do not understand the ways of the Lord. It is not for you to question his work." Mama Amina was undeterred. "If it is truly God's work, then let the Lord speak through you now. Explain why only some women conceive and why others do not. Tell us why these pregnancies are different from those conceived with their husbands. If this is the hand of God, let him reveal the truth." The pastor stammered, unable to provide a convincing answer. The villagers who had once been enraptured by Pastor Moses began to murmur among themselves, doubt creeping into their hearts. Mama Amina then turned to the women. "Sisters," she said, "the power to bring life is not in the hands of a man, but in the hands of God and nature. No man should touch you in ways that dishonor you and claim it as God's will. The true miracle of life comes from love and respect, not deceit." The spell that Pastor Moses had cast over the village was broken. Women stopped attending his rituals, and slowly the truth of his deception spread. Pastor Moses, sensing the tide turning against him, left the village under the cover of night, never to be seen again. In time, the village returned to its old ways. But with a newfound wisdom, they learned to question those who claim to have divine power and to trust in their own strength and in the natural cost of life. And Mama Amina became a symbol of courage, a reminder that true faith could never be manipulated by those with selfish intentions.